Welcome to the Author Spotlight Show. Today we shine a spotlight on a remarkable woman whose stories and insights fill the pages of her #1 best-selling book, Voices of the 21st Century: Wise Women Bringing Light to the World. The cover on this book features the lotus flower, representing the light and transformation that the flower brings. The lotus flower blooms in darkness, a testament to its resilience and growth. Hi, my name is Gail Watson. I'm founder and CEO of Women Speakers Association, and today I have the honor and privilege to introducing to you an extraordinary woman, a visionary whose words not only leap off the page, but also dive deep into the heart of empowerment, resilience, and hope. Her journey is a testament to the strength found in vulnerability, the power of overcoming, and the beauty of rising anew, much like the lotus itself. So join us as we explore her unique contributions to this world, uncovering her wisdom that she shares and the light that she brings to us into our lives. So welcome to the show, international best-selling author, Laura Rubinstein.
Thank you, Gail. It's great to be here.
Super excited to have you. And, I must say, I really appreciated how personal you get in this story. You launch right in with going back into your past a little bit, but a heartbreaking, breakup that led you to really dive deeper and explore the root cause of your feelings. And I have to say, my heart just sunk when you
Hmm.
shared a piece about a text message story that you did. So, anyway, let's talk about your story. And first off, what inspired you to share it?
Well, when I thought about the book and I saw this beautiful cover about bringing light into the world, that I couldn't not share about radiance. We talk a lot about resilience today. We need a lot of resilience today. It's super important. But how do we go from resilience to radiance? And I just went back into my past and said, this is so potent. This is so powerful, being able to consciously cultivate radiance, that I had to share it. I had to share the place I was at where I was totally invisible. And how did I get to radiant? And what does that mean for our world?
Absolutely. And it's a powerful statement, and it feels like a hard journey to go from invisible to radiant. But in your story, as you talk about, it goes over time. You can get through that. So as you share this story and you think about someone reading it that is feeling invisible, what is it that you want them to take away?
Whether you're feeling invisible, kicked down, not good enough, not worthy, self-doubting, self-hating, you can get out of it. There's hope. There's a light at the top of the abyss, and there are handlebars to get you there, to climb out. And those handlebars are your resilience factors. And you all have them. Every single one of us has the ability to look at something in a different way and find another possibility, another way to look at it, another way to approach it, a question to ask. There's always something, some silver lining, as our co-author Tracy Eamon says. There's just, there's hope. And I want this book and the story to give that hope, to give you another perspective, to give you a new way to look at it that can give you another rung up the ladder out of the abyss. And I just want everyone to know that your radiance, you wouldn't feel so low if you didn't have such amazing radiance, right? You'd just be kind of, okay.
And we really need that in our world today.
Yeah.
Now, you also share in your story about in the place you're at today, the positivity that in that space you're in. You're magnetic is the words you use. Could you talk a little bit more about that?
Well, when a woman is connected to her joy, and you can have lots of problems and still have a lot of joy. And I talk about it in the chapter, like joy is a choice. Then people are more attracted. They naturally talk to you more. They naturally ask you questions. They naturally give you things. It's kind of uncanny. I tested it. I was like, I'm like, I'm cultivating my joy consciously. I did several things. You can read about it in the book. And then different things externally started happening as my internal radiance started shining. And people shift based upon who you're being and what you're radiating and the energy that is coming from you. That it is subtle, but it is powerful. We have the ability to make shifts that not only in ourselves to bring our own joy and our own fulfillment and that sense of I belong and the world is a loving, wonderful place that I fit into. You can get there. That's not an external thing that happens. That's an internal thing. Um, and when you do that, then the outside world actually does shift in ways. It's not something like you can cause, but you can intend, and then it shifts. So I know it sounds very not concrete, but that is feminine energy, and that is what women have. And as we kind of explore our own, we can see the results we can create.
Hmm. So you've gone from resilience to radiance. Now let's talk about that. How does that show up in your life today and the work that you do in this world?
I think it shows up in like in my work. When I get excited about, I do a lot of marketing or for people. When I get excited about their brand, my clients' brands, they get excited about it. They jump into action. They start doing things, then they have results, and they get more speaking engagements. They get more clients. It's easier for them, and that is my stand for them. I stand for that, but I stand for it out of my radiance, out of getting excited about who they are. And so I think radiance is so powerful. Um, and we naturally want to be radiant. Like, and then advertisers play on that. You want the shiny hair, the sparkly white teeth with the little light coming off of them in the commercials, right? We see it in advertising today, big time, right? So radiance, the advertisers know it's potent because if you're radiant, you're attracted. What are you going to attract? That which is more of that, goodness. When I first was, oh my God, first time I experienced the effect of my own radiance was, and it happened more than 2 or 3 times, but I was single at the time and men would follow me out and they'd be sheepish. They'd be like out of stores, out of the post office. One guy was riding his bicycle and he turned his bicycle around. He goes, I don't mean to be creepy or anything. I just had to stop and give you my number. I'm like, why? And then we get to be gracious and also we need to manage and be responsible for our radiance too, because I didn't want to lead anybody on and I didn't want to attract the wrong kind of guy or energy either. So, you have to practice this. I always think it's really cool to practice. I have these feminine power cards with all the principles and practices in them that can help cultivate the radiance, cultivate that joy, and then be responsible for it.
Yeah, let's talk about that because feminine energy is something that's very strong and a core pillar of yours. You quote in your story the Dalai Lama that the world will be saved by Western women.
Yes. I'm sure many people have heard that. Um, and I question why or how in my chapter. And I'm tying it back into radiance. The more radiant women we have on this planet, the better off our planet's going to be.
Mm.
And it's as simple and not easy, but it's as simple as that. But to get there is huge, very huge.
You definitely are the lotus flower. You are definitely bringing light. You're shining light in dark places. I mean, it's a dark place if you're feeling ignored, or if you're not feeling seen. And your positive energy is one that is so strong and infectious. And no wonder your clients love you so much. And that energy just flows into them to get excited too. So, sitting here, I'm sure there's people listening right now going, I got to get a copy of your book. So, where can we do that?
And before I tell you that, I just want to say my radiance comes out in that way that you just shared, in one way, but there's tons of ways for radiance to come out. So don't think, oh, I can never be that positive or something. Your radiance is unique to you, and may you shine. And if you want to get a copy of this book from me, I'll sign it for you. Just go to femininepowercards.com and look under the shop there, and you can buy it with a deck of cards. You can buy it with a couple of other editions. There are plenty of amazing stories from our wonderful co-authors and yourself, Gail, too. So femininepowercards.com is a great place to go.
Awesome. And give us a quick intro to these cards. Tell us what they're about.
Well, I love them. First of all, they came out of my about 7 years of deep exploration into what is this feminine energy, because I didn't know the difference, what was going on. And so as I learned how powerful we have masculine, feminine energies. Most of us women who are out there making a living, working, having a business, speaking, we have to use our masculine. And we live in this highly masculinized world, and nothing wrong with it, but, and maybe there are some things wrong with it, but nothing wrong with masculine energy in general and using it. But we're tired, we're exhausted. That's if we're not balancing it out with some feminine energy, it's way harder than it has to be. So I put together these cards every time through my exploration of whether it was in therapy or in a training program or reading or an experience. I got a nugget, a golden nugget, like I call it a principle. I used to write index cards. And so I put them on index cards. And before you knew it, I had a deck, and I'd go through that when I was in a dark place or struggling or frustrated with a situation in a relationship or wanting to get out of a funk. I would just go through the cards and see which one is the answer for me right now. Which principle do I need to tap into and embody right now? And then I turn them into both principles, and on the backside are practices of how do we actually embody them. And I wound up showing them, interestingly enough, I don't know if you know this, but to John Gray, the guy who wrote Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And he looked at these cards and he said, I love these cards. Can I buy a deck? And I was like, oh, be still my heart, someone, because he gets the feminine, masculine interplay. And I said, you know what? I'd love if you'd endorse them. And he goes, sure, I'd love to. So he's endorsed them. He says they're like having a relationship coach in your back pocket, and he loves them. So about that relationship coach, it's not only about the outside relationships that you have, but it's the relationship you have with yourself that it really speaks to, and then helps you have the better relationships externally as well.
That's
So
terrific. And I did not know that about your cards. That's quite the compliment. And
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
So I was like, here I am. I didn't even show him a printed version. I showed him the prototype that was laminated, little squares. And he was like, I love these. I want to buy them like the prototype. I'm like, whoa, okay. I guess they are. And you know what's uncanny? And it's a little bragging, but I love that I get this reaction. I put them in all kinds of people's hands, and they read a couple of cards and they're like, I love these cards. So, and it happens like 99% of the time. That's the first thing people say when they read the card.
love
So
it. So we can get your book and a package of the cards. That would be a terrific gift to give somebody as well. Let
yeah.
somebody know that you see them. What a beautiful opportunity to share these along with other people. So Laura, I want to thank you just for really opening up in such a personal way, and sharing your stories, and sharing that infectious positivity that you that you give to people. You've given us so many great, as you said, golden nuggets here. And just as we finalize our time together, would you share some final words of wisdom with us?
Yeah. Sometimes slowing down helps you to speed up. I don't even like the word speed up, but slowing down is a magic tool. When you savor the moment, you receive so much more from that moment. So don't be afraid to slow down and get into the Jomo, as I like to call it. You've heard of FOMO, fear of missing out. This is the joy of missing out. Your moment. Take it for you. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy the Jomo.
I love that. The Jomo.
Mhm.
Enjoy the Jomo. Awesome. Thank you so much, Laura. Thanks again for sharing your time. And together, we want to wish you, our listeners today, a very happy day wherever you are in this world. Thanks for joining us.
Keep radiating.